Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily if it is your first time here, and usually my intros do not start like this, but for this video I completely forgot to film an intro, so I'm just doing a quick little iPhone footage intro. My dogs are probably about to start barking, so I sincerely apologize. This video is the next rotation of my Shop My Stash. I changed up the format just a little bit. I actually showed myself pulling all the products out of my collection. I actually got quite a rude comment on my last Shop My Stash. They literally said your videos would be more interesting if you showed your entire makeup collection, which I think they could have worded it better because quite honestly it really was very rude. I thought it was a good idea to show my stash. So I did that, and then we did the makeup look in the middle, and then we talked at the end. So I just kind of switched the order of everything around, and I hope it's enjoyable. I kind of like the new format even better. I know that I changed the format of my Shop My Stashes almost every single time that I do one, but I do really enjoy this format a lot, and fingers crossed, I can't cross my fingers very well. Fingers crossed, this is the format that I decide to stick with. So let's just jump right into the video. Okay, so we are going to start over here. In here we have my foundations, eye topper, some miscellaneous stuff, lashes. For my eye primer, I'm going to be using the primero eye primer from Alamar. So also from this drawer, we will pick the one and done shadow that I'm including, and for this bag, we are going to be doing the MAC Dazzle shadow in the shade I Like to Watch, which is this super gorgeous kind of like duochrome shifty copper shade. And then for foundation, I'm going to do my Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Tint. We are going to move over here to the highlighters and the mascaras. For the highlighter, I'm going to pull my Beauty Creations Cali Glow highlighter palette, and we're going to be using this shade right here called Malibu. And then for the mascara, I'm going to use my Trestique Good Vibes mascara. Then we'll do bronzer and face primer. For the bronzer, I'm going to pull my Pacifica Desert Sunset Duo. This is the Desert Sunset Matte Blush and Bronzer, and I'm going to be using just the bronzer. I do like this blush, but that's not the blush we're going to be using. And then for face primer, I'm just going to use this little mini of the Biossance Squalene and Omega Repair Cream. For my concealer, I'm going to pull the Kylie Cosmetics Skin Concealer and also my Lavender Color Corrector because the shade is a little bit too goldeny and a little bit deep for me. The Lavender Color Corrector will just kind of help brighten it and adjust the shade. For my all over face setting powder, I'm going to do this AOA Studio Perfect Finishing Pressed Powder. Mine is very broken, so it won't be in my bag, but it's what's going to be there in the spirit. And then for my under eye setting powder, the loose powder, I'm going to be doing one of my favorite powders, which is the Ben Nye Neutral Set Colorless powder. This is an amazing powder. Moving on to blush, which are the two bottom drawers, I'm going to use my Patrick Ta Monochrome Moment Velvet Blush in the shade She's Sincere. This shade is gorgeous. This is my eyeliner cup. For my black eyeliner, I'm going to be doing my Nabla Serial Liner. Since I've gotten this, I haven't used it a ton, so I want to get some use out of that. And then for the colored liner, I think it's this one. I want to use this ColourPop Bambi Creme Gel Liner in the shade Purty. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the single shadow now. I think it's this one. No, it is not that one. It's this one. This is my Kristen Leigh single in the shade Time Loop. It's super, super pretty. I forgot that my brow products, like my brow gels, are also over here where I keep my mascaras. So I'm just going to grab my We Are Fluid Browzey Brow Gel. And now we will move on to the lip products. Don't mind me and my hot sauce that lives on my desk apparently. I'm going to grab this lip liner. This is the St. Luxe lip liner in the shade Secret Admirer. For lipstick, I'm actually going to pull a red lipstick. I don't know what the shade name of this is, but it's by Makeup Forever. And I got it in a Sephora favorite set around the holidays, but it's a really gorgeous lipstick shade. So I'm gonna pull that one. Kona? What are you doing, bug? What are you doing, sir? What are you doing? And then for my lip gloss, I'm actually going to just move that so we can see back here. I'm going to pull this Tower 28 lip gloss in the shade Fearless. And I think this is everything besides the things that stay in there every time, like my glitter primer, my under eye corrector, what else? My Auric Glow Lust, and my setting spray. And my brow powder, but this is everything. All right, the products that were in this past rotation. This rotation actually lasted about 3 weeks, so I have been using the crap out of these. I'm not going in any particular order. When do I ever? So first off, the RMS Beauty Living Glow Face and Body Powder. I don't think my feelings on this have changed literally at all. I still think it is such a freaking beautiful highlighter. It is so intense and it's like pretty dark, but somehow I find that it like works on my skin tone. Even though it is like pretty freaking dark, it's so beautiful. It's so reflective and shiny, and I just love like slathering it all over my face. Then we have this Mayel Beauty blush in the shade Sunkissed. I think this is a really unique blush. It's almost like a blush palette. I kind of just swirl all the different shades together, but it is so pretty. I find that it definitely does lean a little bit more pink, even though we do have some warmer tones in here with this one in this more like sun-kissed, sunburn type shade. It definitely does lean a little bit more pink, and depending on how much you dip into this shade in this shade, it can look really metallic. I found that if I just kind of focused my brush in this corner down here, it ended up looking so pretty on the cheeks. The CoverGirl Natural Lash Clear Mascara. I actually really enjoy this for the eyebrows. I did not think I was going to like it as much. I actually just decluttered my clear Maybelline Great Lash because I found that it wasn't doing anything for my eyebrows, and I was kind of prepared to declutter this as well, but this actually worked pretty well in my eyebrows. It did hold them up pretty well throughout the day. Not like the most amazing hold, but better than the Maybelline one. So I'm definitely going to be keeping this around in my collection for a little bit longer. The Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue Concealer. This is a really great concealer. I find that while it is more of a matte formula, it doesn't make my under eyes look super dry and crepey, and this shade is really, really good for me as well. This is not a shade that I have to mix with my lavender color corrector. It just works really well overall, and it lasted basically all day. I believe that this is the concealer that I brought with me on my Disney trip, and so I was wearing it in Disney World and it held up throughout the day. It's a really, really nice concealer. I would definitely recommend this if you are looking for a long-lasting concealer that doesn't make your under eyes look dry and crepey, which I don't know why anyone would like be looking for a concealer that does make their under eyes look dry and crepey. So I guess it's just a good concealer. I really enjoyed this eyeliner. This is the ColourPop Bambi eyeliner in the shade Meadow, and it's this really light kind of like pastel yellow. I really enjoyed putting this in my waterline. I found that it wasn't as harsh as like a straight up white, but it did add a little bit of lightness down on my bottom lash line that I ended up really, really enjoying. My Farsali Skin Tune Blur was my face primer. This product is definitely starting to get a little bit old. It's a little bit thicker and a little more goopy than it once was. I still find that this doesn't really do anything for me. I bought this because Jackie Aina raves about this, and she has oily skin. I have oily skin. I thought it would be life-changing. It's really not. It's kind of just like the experience of putting it on your face that kind of does it for me. It does feel really nice to apply on my face, and when I started mixing it with my Auric Beauty Glow Lust, I did enjoy the process a little bit more, but still I just don't think it does literally anything, so I still just don't think this is worth the price tag. I freaking love this lip gloss. This is the Bressman Rock Wet n Wild Jungle Rock lip gloss in the shade Freaky. This is such a gorgeous lip gloss. It looks good on top of any lip combo, but I figured out that if I put on a warm toned lip and I want it to look a little bit more cool toned, like it's just a little bit too warm for whatever eye look I have going on, I can throw this on top of it and it kind of adjusts the color to look a little bit more cool toned. It is a clear lip gloss, but it has a pretty subtle like purple reflect to it, and that purple reflect doesn't really show up on the lips, but when it's paired over something warmer, it can pull that warm tone to be a little bit more cool. So I thought that was an interesting eureka moment, I guess, that I figured out that I could do that with this lip gloss. NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. Still working on trying to use this bad boy up. as you can see, I've made my way through completely over here, and now I'm just kind of working my way around. I cannot wait until this is out of my collection. It's just one of those things that I've had for such a long time, and I just want to see it gone, honestly. The KVD Cake Pencil Liner in the shade Trooper Black. I don't think my feelings have changed on this as much. The only thing I will say that maybe a realization I had is that it sets down a lot quicker than I once thought it did. Maybe it's starting to dry out just a little bit, but I do enjoy using this on my upper lash line to do like kind of like a smoky wing situation. And I found that this time around when I was doing that, I had to work a lot quicker than I ever had to do in the past. So maybe it's drying out, or maybe I just didn't realize that I didn't have as much time to work with it as I thought that I did. I don't know, but I did have to work quite quickly with it while using it these past 3.5 weeks. My one and done shadow was the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in the free rain, in the shade Free Rain. I have figured out that this is like my perfect smoky eye look. So this is the shade. I haven't swatched literally anything else, but it is such a pretty shade, and it's very easy to literally just use this one shade, put it on your lid, maybe blend it out with a little bit of bronzer, but I don't think that the bronzer step is like absolutely vital. And it's just so easy to get like a smoky brown eyeshadow look with this, and then smudge a little bit of black liner on your upper lash line. Chef's kiss. Such a gorgeous smoky eye, and it has a little bit of reflect in it that just like kind of makes everything look really seamless. I really enjoyed using this Super Shock shadow. The moment of truth about this bronzer, I'm gonna be keeping it. I don't really know if I was ever going to like actually really declutter it, but I definitely was like thinking about it. I don't know, something about this bronzer, I just feel like I have to put a little bit more work into using it, into like making it show up on my face than I do with my other bronzers. But I think I've come to realize that maybe that's not always such a bad thing. I had like a bit of a realization within the past 2 weeks maybe that I have been like going pretty freaking heavy with my bronzer, and maybe I could like step it back a little bit, like just one step. So I've been trying to do that recently, and I found that the new bronzer look that I've been wanting is pretty easily achieved by using this. So I think that this definitely does have a place in my collection still. All right, my thoughts have literally not changed at all. This is my NYX lip liner in the shade Mauve. I love these lip liners. This shade is really pretty. It's a really gorgeous shade to just like contour the lips with slightly. Love it. My Milk Makeup Kush Mascara, this is just a little mini, but in my inventory, obviously I count it as a different product than the full size that I have of this. This is like almost dried up. I do love this mascara. The one thing, I don't know why, this mascara just does smudge on me. And for a while there I was saying like, oh, I just need to like bake my under eyes and then it won't smudge, but I don't want to have to bake my under eyes for my mascara not to smudge. I definitely have figured out that I do have other mascaras in my collection that don't smudge even if I don't bake my under eyes. So I feel like I shouldn't have to bake my under eyes. Hey! What are you doing? Why are you doing that? That's rude. Trying to kill my sweatshirt. Rude. So yeah, while I will definitely use these mascaras up because I do have them and they're in my collection and like they're not that bad. Are you yelling at me? Because I took my sweatshirt away from you because I didn't want you to chew it? That is just bold. I don't care. What? Tell me about it. I don't care. She's so funny. We have 2 products left. The lipstick that I had in this rotation was my Givenchy Le Rose Perfecto Lip Balm in the shade 302. It was this super gorgeous, like sheer balmy orange lipstick. So nice. So nice. I don't know, I don't have a whole lot to say about them. They're really nice. It was kind of like my first intro to luxury makeup, and I'm really glad that it was like a pleasant experience all around with my Givenchy purchases. I just like the formula. I like the way that it feels on the lips. It has like a very slight like minty feeling to it after it sits on your lips for a minute, and it's just pleasant. I enjoy it. And then the very last thing that I'm really conflicted about is the Wet n Wild foundation stick. So listen, I love the way that this looks on my skin, but I hate the way that it wears. It applies to the skin super beautifully. It just kind of glides over everything really nicely. It has a good amount of coverage, but it does not wear well. It breaks up really quickly, and it just makes me look like greasy and just really not cute. I don't know, I guess I just don't really know how I'm feeling about this foundation, because it does look really nice when I first put it on. It does have a good amount of coverage, and I love the way that it looks once I apply it. I just don't like how it wears, so I guess I might just have to play around with it and figure out if maybe there's a primer that I can use, maybe I need to prep my skin differently, maybe I need to use a different application technique. I don't know, maybe just gonna take some playing around with this one. So that is it for this video. I hope you liked the format a little bit better. I got quite the demand on my last Shop My Stash. I just think it's funny how people like love to consume free content and then think that they have like a right to be like, do this, you know? And like I love constructive criticism, and like I have had friends and family like give me constructive criticism, but it's just like kind of rude to comment something on someone's free content and be like, you need to do this instead, you know? So I guess that's all I have to say about that. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you will give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribe before you go, and hopefully I will see you in my next one. Bye!